House of Commons Immigration Committee is holding emergency meetings this summer.
We do have a situation that needs to be managed and managed properly. If it is not managed properly, as it is going forward at the moment, then the repercussions will be significant. I think not just for asylum seekers, but also for the reputation of Canada.
The committee unanimously agreed to the emergency meetings during a rare summer session. Conservative immigration critic Michelle Rempel says the Liberals have failed to come up with a long-term comprehensive plan to deal with border crossers. She calls the situation a border crisis. Many opposition MPs have been pushing the Liberal government to review its response to a recent influx in asylum seekers. They've now asked for testimony from the immigration and public safety ministers. This is where we bring in Danielle Smith from Global News Radio 770 CHQR to continue the conversation. Good morning, Danielle. Is it fair to call this a border crisis?
Well, when you've got both the NDP critics and the Conservative critics together saying that the Liberals are mismanaging it, they're probably mismanaging it. One of the things I would say is I've been watching the numbers every single week of the illegal border crossers coming across, and it seemed like it hit a high point in April, about 2,500. In June, it was down to 1,200. So I don't know if that is because of any proactive measures that the government has taken to try to get the message out to the world that, hey, you can't just come to Canada by way of a tourist visa to the United States and just get a free pass here. So I think that's one thing that we should be watching, because I think we were all expecting that those numbers would increase over the summer. So that would be number one. But number two, you've got real serious problems in Quebec and Ontario who are receiving and trying to repatriate trying to accommodate the lion's share of the illegal crossers. And the problem is that they're using whatever housing is available, which has been university dormitories. Well, school starts in a couple of months and there isn't any alternative accommodation. The money to be able to provide for housing is not coming from the federal government. And so now that there's been a change of government in Ontario, they're blowing the whistle on it. And they're saying that the government has to do something about it. So what Michelle Rempel wants to do is to get testimony from the different provincial leaders, different provincial representatives, to find out exactly what the nature is of the pressure that they're facing and how to solve it. But it has been a case, unfortunately, where the federal government has been reactive every step along the way and just expecting that municipalities and provincial governments will shoulder the burden. And it's just not fair, and they're now getting called out on it.
It'll be an interesting conversation for sure on your show today starting at 9:30. Thanks, Danielle.
Yeah, you bet.